Now I'm going to assemble the X-axis into the main body. We'll need to first wind these axes up so that we expose the bolt hole. I'll just grab my manual winder. Just find the flat and put it on the right way. Just wind it out. And you can just see the bolt hole appearing there. Just up in here. So I'm also going to put some tape running down on these cables here, just to keep them all together, so that they don't sort of split and divide within the machine and get caught up in all of the other cables in there when the axis is travelling. So I'll just put a few of these down here, and that should keep it together. So I'm now going to put the X-axis in place using two 16mm M3 button heads. And first thing I'll do is just grab that, slot the cable down in there so that it loops down into that space there. So just make a loop like this and pop it down into that space. And slot it down into here. On this side. So I'm just going to pop these bolts into those holes. So in there. It's a bit too close to focus. But I'll do that on the other side and then flip it around so you can have a look. So these locate into the little threaded lugs that we sticky taped in earlier. There we go. Now there's a little bit of adjustment in the axis with this. You can see if it's not fully screwed in, you actually get about 1 millimetre of vertical adjustment per side. So there should be around about 2 millimetres overall if I do that side to side. And that just means that for fine tuning the levelling of the axis, it gives us a little bit of leeway there. I'm just going to do that up again. Now once that's in place, we can put the wiring in. So this is the X-axis. The X-axis is this first stepper right underneath this first stepper here. And there's 4 little header pins just right next to it. And so we'll take that 4-pin terminal here and just pop that on like that with the red, blue, green, black, red facing the power inlet. And then this, your end stop, sits on these pins here. I might zoom in here like this. And so it sits on the second set of pins. So this is the first set here, second set of pins back. Now these are set up in sets. So the first 2 sets of pins are for the X, the second two are for Y, and the third two for Z. And there's 3 pins in a row. The third pin is for an optical end stop. We don't need that. We only need the first two on that row. Now, for the end stops, the first set closest to the front of the board for the minimum travel, and the second set are for maximum travel. So if you were to have 2 sets or 2 end stops on an axis, you could have one on your minimum, so when it homes back to 0, like we've got here, and you can also have one set on the other end. The one set to 0 is a minimum, and the opposite end is the maximum, so you can set those on here. Now, the configuration of this machine is slightly different to other machines. Usually 0, 0 in X and Y on a machine will be set to this top left-hand corner. In this case, I've got it set to the bottom right. So the top left would traditionally be the minimum, and so the bottom left is the maximum. So I've set this pin in the firmware to sit on the maximum. So I'm going to zoom back in here again. And just show you. So the X-axis end stop needs to sit on this second set of pins across, just like that.